divine unity, knowledge-based, issue-driven. We are your community great source of great inspiration and information. Happy Friday. A little bit after the 11 hour, praying and trusting all is well with each of you. Wake Up continues. We got a full house today. Yep, it's time now for MP3 Radio Talk Show. The Pitts brothers are here, and we have some gorgeous guests in the studios today. I guess you can kind of say it's a handsome and gorgeous affair today with MP3 Radio Talk Show. The Pitts brothers are here, and they have guests today. They have great topics of talk. Overall, a great show lined up for you today. Facebook viewers, YouTube viewers, welcome. Be sure to like, share, and comment. And yep, this is a call-in talk show. Phone lines are open throughout the duration of the program. 910-483-6111. Good morning, MP3. Hope you're well today. Good morning to your guests. We're ready for you, Pitts brothers. Take it away.
Thank you, Tammy. We appreciate it. Introduction as wonderful as it always is. I am Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
I'm Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.
And we have a couple of Z and Z profiles here today with us. Glad to have you in the studio. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But I want to thank our participating stations.
We got Helen Ann over there, too.
Yeah.
You forgot about Helen Ann.
See,
that's the reason why I'm your favorite
The niece that wouldn't give me a bracelet.
That's the reason why. Because I wouldn't have forgot you.
Right, and Helen Ann. I want to thank our participating stations, as we always do. 99.7 FM here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where we broadcast from. 98.5 FM out of Red Springs, North Carolina. 97.1 FM out of Lumberton. And, of course, 92.5 FM out of Laurinburg, North Carolina. This is a call-in show. The numbers to call in, 910-483-6111. If you want to participate in our conversations, we always welcome that, as you all out there in our listening audience already know. You help edify us on some things we might not be thinking about, and so we always love that. But let's get started for today. Myron's going to introduce our lovely guest. To help compliment these handsome gentlemen that we have here tonight. Let them do that. But Myron, take it away, sir.
All right, appreciate it, Marshall MP1, and for your modesty as usual. We have with us in the studio hip-hop duo, Zelda and Zoletta. Y'all are coming back out after about a 40-year absence from the game, getting back in it. You got 5 songs about to be in heavy rotation. Thank you for joining us on the show. And, of course, my beloved daughter, Helen Ann, is here. She might be speaking to us a little bit later.
Hey, Helen Ann.
Right. So, glad to have you, Zelda and Zoletta. That's the name of the group, right?
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about when y'all were first out, when you first hit it big, and what made you come back out now?
Well, when we were first out, we did our first show, one of our first shows with Salt and Pepper. That's when they had this song called My Mic Sounds Nice. They had not yet push it out yet. And at that show, actually, Herbie Lovebug came over to me and my sister and told us that he liked our style. And so he ended up putting our style on Salt and Pepper. So that was their style when they first came on Soul Train. So I just want to put that little tad bit in there to get credit that I never got. But we stopped doing music because I'll let Zoletta talk about that.
We were getting ready to, we had did a show, at that time I believe it was Dougie Fresh, UTFO, and some more people, Kwame and some others, and Rob Bass. Mm-hmm. And
recently passed away.
Yes, that was devastating.
Yeah.
Yes. And he asked my mom, could we tour with them in Japan? Mm-hmm. And my mom said no at the time because she was not going to let us go by herself.
Mm-hmm. Right.
She said no. Shortly thereafter, she had a stroke and was in a coma for a couple of months or so, where they had to remove, parts of her skull and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was our pause.
Yeah.
That was our pause, because definitely we felt that, our mom was the priority.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
Of course.
And you, by the way, listeners, I wrote a story about them. You can check it out on FayObserver.com. But how old were y'all at the time when your rap career was going?
Just give us
The first time.
Just give us the
It
estimate.
was
Now,
1990.
listen. Don't worry about people trying to figure out how old you are based on what you just get ready to tell us. Okay, it's okay.
It's okay. to
I'll
know
say
that-
about 24 years. I was 24, so she would have been 25.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your mom, she played a role in y'all career. I mean, she was very supportive. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes.
Oh yes. So my mother was big on music. She was big. I have her whole music collection, which is very valuable. But she took us to all the concerts, Cameo, LL Cool J.
Oh my goodness! Stop right there. My favorite group.
Yeah.
Loves Cameo. Yeah.
Word out.
Right.
So she took us to all the shows and stuff, and she was really into music. If there was a TikTok back then, she would have been a TikTok star.
Right.
And she liked to dance in the mirror and all that type stuff. So yeah. So I mean, anything that you want to add?
Yeah,
to it?
I just wanted to add, like, she was a big proponent for the arts. So she believed in, you have your academics, but she also believed in the arts. So
Yeah.
she put us in dance and ballet and tap and stuff like that. So
Piano.
yeah, different things like that.
And one thing y'all are telling me is how, the music lifestyle, especially behind the scenes, can be a little wild. But your mom took steps to protect y'all from that. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this now. You're not going to control the whole.
Y'all can jump in
I
anytime.
just want to make
It's
sure you're aware.
MP3, not MP1.
Jump in anytime.
Oh my God.
I love it.
You see how they
siblings.
treat
I love
me.
it.
Well, there, in the business, there was always offers that you get offered, and a lot of offers I actually turned down. I probably would have been a big star by now if I would have, act upon those things. But I wasn't desperate like that.
Right.
So I did not.
Yeah, I will say that there were drugs and stuff that could have been, if someone was weak or whatever, because you would see stuff like everywhere.
Yeah.
So my mother was just very protective of us. And so if there was a show or something, you got escorted in and you got escorted out immediately. So she kind of was our protector. And I'm grateful for that. And like I stated earlier, sometimes, people are exploited. Well, if you do this, then you can get this. And that stuff never happens.
Okay.
And we grew up with a dad. We did have a dad. He would probably be at home waiting if anything popped off, he was gonna come get you. So yeah, so he was protective too.
And he was military, right?
Yeah, he was a pilot in the
Yeah.
army,
Yeah.
helicopters.
Yeah. Very big on education, though. That was, he hammered that.
Yeah.
He
So now
really
that y'all
hammered
trying to get back into, or getting you back in the game.
Back
Yes.
in, right.
You're back in the game. What would you say the major differences is, between back then and how things were then, and as you're trying to get back reestablished now?
I would probably say social media. Back then, we didn't have social media. We posted posters up on the light poles, and it was big radio presence, which was awesome. Now it's just a lot of streaming stuff online. You have to be online all the time, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of the differences that I think is the types of music, lyric-wise,
No doubt.
and just the focus, not taking away from anyone's talent, but I just think that as an artist, I mean, you write the music and you're still giving a message. You have a platform. So I just think some of the lyrics and tone has changed. And,
Definitely.
Yeah.
It was more fun back then,
Yeah.
and happy, good times. Everybody wanted to have good times, and that's why we're trying to bring it
Yeah.
back out.
Yeah.
Happy, fun times, not so maybe down all the time.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So when did you? This is what I want to know. When did you first fall in love with the microphone and doing the rap thing?
How old were you? 3 or 4, 5 or 6?
I remember being in high school. Well,
Yeah.
I started a group in middle school. We had a singing group. It was 2 of my friends, and we were called Prophecy. And so we started singing and doing stuff, around the school. In the middle school, they had those little blocks at Douglasburg Middle School, and we'd stand on there and do little shows in the morning before you went to class. And then by the time I got to high school, just the love of it, love music, and just the sound, and I think that was important.
And I
for
would
me.
probably say I'm the dancer, because I really like to dance, and then the rapping came later.
Singing,
I'm the dancing queen.
singing
Right.
and dancing.
Dancing too, dancing.
dancing
I would
too.
say dancing and just all of it actually. Yeah.
All right, so let's hear about the new music. Well, let's me backtrack a little bit, getting ahead of myself. Tell us,
As you frequently do.
I frequently do, right? I own that. Tell us about what made you come back out, and then tell us about the new music you have in the store for the folks.
Okay, so
What made you come back out?
what made me come back out is just always been in the back of my head. I always wanted to do music. I like entertainment. And just wanting to do this full time. I want to do this full time.
Yeah, and my reason for wanting to bring it back out is that I believe that music is universal, and so there's some things that I would like to share. And everybody's song and story is not the same. So I'm grateful for the life that we had, growing up, because it wasn't bad. It was actually great. So wanting to share that through words and song.
Yeah.
And I said, let's bring it back out.
Right. So remind the audience of some of your. Let's talk about your old hits you had or music that you had in the past, and then let's move to the current and tell us about your new five hits that we soon will be hits soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So back in the day, we had this song we had a couple of hits, but Ugly Boys took off. It was called Ugly Boys, and they would be just having ugly boy contests, but none of the guys were ugly. Everybody was nice looking, and you got to win money for this ugly
$200
boy.
or something.
So you had pretty boys and ugly boys.
So we just we're funny. We like to laugh, so we always just like to make funny stuff, like comedy. We love comedy, so a lot of our songs got comedy in it. So so we started out with those, but Ugly Boys really took off. So
Yeah, and I wanted to add two songs that come to my mind. We had a song called DFA, DFD, and it was Dreaming of a Drug-Free Day. And so that was that turn in the 80s where crack was coming out. And then seeing that change lives from the prominent person to the person that wasn't, and just saw how it shifted a community. So to me, that was one that, I'm dreaming of a drug-free day. And we did a couple of the Red Ribbon campaigns back in the day for drug-free. And then the other one was Backstabbing. And we had the opportunity to go to Power Play Studios with Patrick Adams. And he is one that mixed down that song for us. But that just tells a little bit about life. And even though being I was at high school at the time, but even that time, backstabbing does occur. So just experiencing that, and for the first time. So that was the inspiration back then. And now, the current songs, if you want to say about the current songs.
So the current songs is Woe Up. That's a North Carolina shout out, because everyone likes a shout out. And sorry if we didn't get every city. We
Y'all tried.
Yes.
And,
You got a bunch of them.
And then Bringing It Back Out is just about us coming back out with the jeans and the bamboo earrings and the roller skating. We can skate. We can do cartwheels still, and we can still do splits.
Yeah, and then on June 14th, we're going to release Black Diamond Man. And it's just something just to let the men of color, black men, know that, hey, we got you, we see you, we hear you, and that's coming out. And then on July 1st, we got a song coming out called Poppin' the Sheets. And it's just something that my grandma used to say a long time ago when we were little, and we'd be up in the morning hanging up clothes. It'd be cold outside.
Yeah.
When we would go visit, I'm like, I don't want to go to grandma's. She gonna put you to work. So yeah.
Now, y'all had mentioned your dad earlier and his influence. Now, the title "Woe Up" is related to something your dad used to say, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and when you were getting ready to do something wrong, he would tell you better woe up. So that's
means stop.
Yes, you better stop. And he gave you that look. You knew. And you better woe up.
Now, how can people hear your music And will y'all soon? I know you will soon have some live shows. But let's talk first about where people can hear you. Where can they go to hear the music?
Well, they can go on all music platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. There's like probably about
21.
30 or so platforms.
Okay.
And YouTube also. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we forgot about a whole big space here that, they had the early career and now they're coming back out. But they're accomplished women. So let's talk about what your careers were in the middle there.
Well, I am a master barber and a master cosmetologist. I live in Atlanta. I've done pretty much all of the NFL players and the NBA players. Both of my daughters are by professional athletes, and now I teach. I teach at Wake Technical College, and so yeah.
All right, great.
Yes, and so I am an administrator at Howard Learning Academy. I'm a principal. This would probably be year maybe 25 or something in education, but year 28 with the state of North Carolina as a state employee. So I have had that career, and I am a Bronco. Fayetteville State University.
Dr. Taylor.
Yes, so I...
That's okay, but
Yeah. Yes. And my daughter is an ECU graduate.
And our nephews,
they're very
ECU.
smart. Tell your daughter and your nephew they're very smart.
That's
And
why
so
we
I
put
want to add with that, my daughter, Zakira, ECU grad, she is on the vocal recording of that. And our nephew, Zane, who is a dual citizen of Russia, just got his first score in a motion picture.
That's all right.
So,
And you stayed with the Z's,
yes,
too.
yes, got a Z name.
we have cousins that's in the music business.
Yes.
Casey and JoJo is our cousin.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're
And-
cousins, yeah.
I believe Fantasia
I don't know.
may be a
Supposed to.
distant cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I think confirmed.
Interesting.
Now, y'all, the album. Go ahead,
wait.
Marsh, go ahead. Yeah, finish up.
She's a master barber.
Yes. I can hook you up.
No.
No.
Y'all are funny.
So you work with the producer Laylo, and that sounds like it's been a real good partnership.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how that came together, and a little bit about him and about y'all working together.
Okay. Yes.
Well, I was asking my sister, okay, when we're going to put out these songs? Well, I'm here for a minute. When we're going to put them out? So just on social media, just going through and talking to different people. And I was given his name by a DM in Facebook. And I contacted him, and then we drove out that weekend, went to go meet him. And he is a Grammy award-winning producer. And we just decided to work together. It's cool.
And he produced Shoot. That's what he got the Grammy for with Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
And he's done work with Mary J. Blige and some other people too. But he's phenomenal, very gifted.
Right.
Very gifted.
And he has Rockingham connections, right?
Yes, he's from Rockingham.
And we didn't say, and it may have been obvious to everybody, but y'all are from Fayetteville.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so in case people missed it, so, J. Cole wasn't the first rapper who blew up from Fayetteville.
No,
So
he
that's
was
one
9
thing to know.
months.
And there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent here in North Carolina,
Yes.
Laylo and others. So
Yes.
it's really great to hear about that. Anything else y'all want to add about the new music, the potential for any live shows, or just any update you want to give the folks?
Well, we would love to open up for J. Cole. You need to call Auntie.
Okay.
Call Auntie and let us open up for you. We're just positive, and we're doing this, having fun with it and stuff like that.
Right.
And I hope our music will be an inspiration to people young and old. And I just want to add for everyone, for all of you to, reach out and mentor. Find a
definitely.
young person to mentor and help them along the way.
Right.
And that's what I hope that we can do with our music too.
And if we ever run into Salt and Pepper
Yes.
anywhere, we're going to tell them. So our
Yes.
homegirls told us you get off
That's right.
Stilo.
That was the word, bite. They were like, all my friends were like, they bit off y'all. And it's okay, you know.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Right,
That
right.
was, the New York style back then.
Yeah,
They wore
t-shirts
jeans, T-shirts, and a hat.
Right,
Tomboy.
right.
But we
Yeah.
showed up.
Right.
Now, before y'all leave, my daughter Helen Ann has a question
Oh.
for y'all. What did you want to ask, Helen Ann? Come to the microphone, sweetie.
I wanted to compliment on these beautiful bracelets
Yes.
that Helen Ann made for us.
Yes.
And we asked for specific colors and specialty, and they
Oh.
are fabulous and wonderful.
Yes.
So that is excellent, and thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
You have a question for her, or you good? She's
Okay.
good. All right. All right. We appreciate y'all coming by.
She got her quietness from her mother. She didn't get that from her. So now I
she
just
said
want to
not
make
me.
sure that you guys know that when you really start to go on, remember me. Okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a singer, dancer, all those types of things. I'm the only talented one on this group. Okay, so just let me know. I can open up for you.
Yeah.
I can be a hype man.
You can be a
Like,
comedian too. Yeah,
comedian too. Like Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
Just better looking.
What time is it? Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, we're grateful. Like we're
Yes.
so grateful
Thank you
to
so
all
much.
of you, and thank you for allowing us to come. and
All
speak.
right.
Thank you for
Blessings
stopping
on
by.
your
Quite
journey.
welcome.
We're looking forward to seeing y'all blow up
Yeah,
once
that's-
again.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you so much.
All
And
right. Thank you.
someone, Mr. Pitt, someone said that article was the best, like such a great article.
Yeah.
Oh, appreciate
don't-
that.
don't blow it.
Appreciate
Don't
that.
blow it.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Tell them
so
y'all
much.
heard that, right?
Yeah,
I appreciate
they said
that.
it was the best that they've read since.
Yeah, that's very encouraging. Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's what
Appreciate
they're
it.
supposed to say. That's the music right there.
Well, we're on break right now. Got to take a break. Want to thank our Zoletta and Zelda for coming in. We really appreciate that.
Thank you
We
so
enjoyed
much.
Thank
having
you.
you. And we'll be right back with MP3.
I'm Attorney Alan Rogers of the Rogers Law Firm, and I stand on the strong moral principles of my parents, the late Bishop Zach Rogers Jr. and First Lady Mary Rogers. I've practiced law for over 30 years, serving this community and surrounding communities from Cumberland County, Scotland County, and throughout North Carolina. We have a proven track record of putting 12 in the box, trying our cases, and bringing home victories. We've settled as well as gotten verdicts of millions of dollars, and we'll do the same for you. So give us a call at 910-433-0833, the Rogers Firm. With a proven track record, let us deliver for you.
Hey, you looking for your next car? Start at Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville. At Bryan Honda, we make buying a car simple, stress-free, and affordable. Whether you're searching for a brand new Honda or a quality pre-owned vehicle, we've got a huge selection to fit every lifestyle and every budget. From fuel-efficient Civics and Accords to family-friendly CRVs and Pilots, Bryan Honda has the perfect vehicle waiting for you, and with our friendly, knowledgeable sales team, you'll never feel pressured. Need financing? No problem. Bryan Honda works with multiple lenders to get you approved fast with competitive rates that make sense for you. Plus, our certified service department is here long after the sale, keeping your Honda running strong for years to come. Drive smarter, drive happier, and drive home today from Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville, or you can visit online, bryanhonda.com. Your road starts here. Nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal. Not now, not ever.
And good morning. We are back with Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
And Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.
If you're just joining us, we just wrapped up a nice segment with Zelda and Zoletta, and they were on their way back out. They're doing their big comeback. So
Comeback.
We look forward to that. But now we have to get into the serious, very serious topics of the day, and we've had some very, very egregious things happening.
We have.
One here in Shelby, North Carolina, in which a young African American woman was physically
Brutally
beaten
Yeah.
by a police officer in Shelby. And then we will also get into a situation down in I think it was Georgia. No, in
Yeah.
Georgia, where a store owner shot a 14-year-old.
Actually, slight correction, Columbia, South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah, okay, right.
But go ahead,
In
Mike.
Columbia, South Carolina, storms ran down a 14-year-old over 14-year-old over a sprint of about 100 yards or so, and shot him in the back. Said he had threatened his son or what have you. The jury just returned a verdict of not guilty, on that,
right.
so we'll dig into that one as well.
So this first one was in Shelby. It's received a lot of attention for a number of reasons, as it should. The video went viral. I think y'all have both seen it. Officer fist balled up, just punching this lady really as hard as he could.
Right.
I mean, just it took me back to, it was really even almost, in some respects, it was on a level of the Rodney King beating, if not worse.
Because one thing was a woman.
It was a woman, not a big one. I'm very
They
slight.
said she weighed about 90 pounds.
Right. So now, to show you how serious this is, because some people might try to spin it later, the police force is already fired the police officer.
Right.
And usually,
that's unheard
know,
of.
we've
That's
talked
unheard.
about we've talked about this on
They put
MP3
them
a
on
number of
administrative
times. How
leave.
usually the blue wall just kind of huddles the wagons, and they may put the cop on administrative leave or paid leave, if that. So in this case, he was fired immediately after the video went viral. Cherry Moore, 34-year-old woman, she is the one that was seen, and that was punched. Ben Crump, who handles, he's kind of the modern day Johnny Cochran.
Yeah, he is.
Marshall's boy.
He's handled, great attorney, your boy, right? And
Both of y'all attorneys. That's what I mean by your boy.
Well, I know what you mean.
Ben's solid. Yeah.
We know what you mean.
Seems like you get ready to try to deny that part.
Yeah, even Helen Ann, my daughter, has seen this video. Ben Crump has spoken to the media, and he's working with the family to try to get justice in this case. But again, the video kind of speaks for itself. The officer is Carson Hyder. He was on top of her, striking in the face with a closed fist. What the family says is that she was having the victim was having a mental health issue. And that's also something that affects many communities. We've seen this here in Fayetteville. The young lady was having a mental health crisis and wound up, her family had called the police,
right,
and wound up getting killed by those same police. So, right, yeah. For what?
She ended up getting beaten by those same police.
He's the one in Fayetteville now. Actually, she actually got killed, and it kind of inspired a whole movement here in town that led to the Office of Community Safety. Shelby Police Chief Brad Frazier called his officers' actions disturbing and inappropriate, which is kind of mild to me. He was fired and charged with misdemeanor assault, inflicting serious injury. Two of the three charges filed against the woman, resisting a public officer, and assault on a government official, were dropped.
Now that's we need to speak to that, because in any situation, regardless of how egregious it may be as far as the excessive force used by the police officer, you will almost always have the victim of that force being charged too, with some kind of, and usually the most common catch-all, the resist, delay, and obstruct. That's a catch-all for whatever won't fit in this type of situation that you
could put it under there.
Right.
Now, this officer had an encounter with her before. He responded to a call, just going through the story. So court records show in August of 2025, last year, he responded to a call on charge of a breaking and entering and arrested her. So I don't know how well he knew the woman, or even if he knew it was the same woman he had arrested prior time. Possibly he did.
What did they say that arrest was for?
That was for on charges of breaking and entering and resisting. Again, that resisting.
I find it hard to believe that he would not have remembered her. We're talking about small town. That's. I don't think he would.
Depending on how long ago it was, that's step one. Yeah. But probably I'm with Marshall on that. I mean, you're in Shelby, you're not in New York City,
right?
Fayetteville even. So you should. I mean, if you arrest somebody a year or so ago, in Shelby,
Right.
then I would think that you would remember who that person was.
Yeah. So
there was some history there.
It raised some history there, and again that issue of with what was happening. Like Durham has a program called the Heart Program, and in a situation where mental illness is potentially an issue, they will have a member of that program respond with the cops.
Right.
They'll come out with the police officers, and then you have a trained mental health professional who's helping deal with this situation because, police officers obviously serve a valuable function, but it's not really in their toolbox to be dealing with
mental
things
health
like
stuff.
mental health and homelessness and
It
unhoused.
sounds like, though.
But it gets put on them. I'm not excusing this cop.
Right, that's where I was about to go with that.
Right, I'm not excusing this
okay.
cop because the beating is separate from that. I mean, if you saw it, it almost seemed personal. I mean,
Right.
well, it almost seemed like he lost it. And I'm like, what could have possibly been done to him to in any way justify this kind of behavior?
The video starts with the beating, with a couple of swings in there, and then then he throws it to the ground, or somehow he gets it to the ground, and then that's when he starts wailing on her when he's on top of her, and then there's another officer that comes up beside him, and obviously the officer says something to it.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Like, what are you doing?
It's enough, whatever. And then so that's kind of when it stops. But listen, whether you have a mental health team like Durham has, you maybe not have those kind of resources in Shelby. There's no excuse for that.
No.
None. There's no excuse for when you've lost your temper.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Well, I'm even giving him the excuse of losing his temper. It might just be how he is.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this officer.
Right.
I do know that's unexcusable. I mean, whether the lady was big or small, she just happened to be small. But I didn't even see the part. Again, the video starts with the assault.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the part of resisting. How much can a 90-pound person resist when at that off their feet?
Yeah, and
off their feet with another officer present.
Exactly, and there's very little information relatively that's really surfaced as to what happened before. The most we have is that an early police account was that she was suspected of breaking and entering, and he pursued her for some short period of time before he caught up with her. We don't know what happened between that and the brutal beating that we all witnessed.
Well, let's go to DL. We have DL on the line, too. DL, are you there?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning,
DL.
Yeah, my whole saying, some people should be the police and some people should call the police. So, the officer falls into the latter. Now, in law enforcement, police officers, 5 levels of police arrest, use of force continuum. The officer presence, verbalization, empty hand control, less lethal force, and lethal force. So, for arrestable offenses, anybody can be arrested, whether you're having mental issues or not. If you commit a crime, you can still be arrested.
Right.
However, law enforcement, they don't like for you to go hands-on because it will involve you having to beat the crap out of somebody. It becomes a street fight and it looks bad. That's why you use those different soft empty hand techniques. If he verbally told her to submit and she refused and she started squirming, use the taser. Use the taser if she can't comply. Because I don't care how big you are, if a person is resisting, in order to overcome their resistance, you might have to body slam them. Therefore, use your taser. They're going to go down. Lots of times they'll go down. Then you get the handcuffs on them. We need to see the entire video because this camera angle I want to see how it started. And this is why I say in law enforcement, there need to be retired law enforcement officers who review body cam videos throughout the year, who audit the police and say, hey, chief, like your internal affairs, you might want to check this out. He might need some more training and whatnot, because I don't want supervisors. I was a supervisor. You're busy on the road, right, and we don't want you auditing 5-minute videos of an easy traffic stop, check the block. We need to have remember how Wilmington caught those guys using those racial epithets about 3 or 4 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
It's through auditing. So we need to start auditing more law enforcement officers, and hopefully he gets what he deserves. He needs to be fired and never work in law enforcement again.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, DL.
Well, see, I'm glad DL said that last part about never working in law enforcement again. You remember a lot of these times we have found that some of these officers...
It's still, it's routine.
They get recycled.
For instance, George Floyd's person and people like that, they come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Where they had some other stuff going on at that point. And then they resigned, maybe under pressure, under investigation, whatever it may be. And then they resurface somewhere else.
Yeah. Right.
And as another police officer. And so there needs to be like a national, and again, all of these things that DL just talked about, like never working again, it's difficult in law enforcement because, if a law enforcement officer worked at Fayetteville City Police and then he wants to go to Charlotte,
right.
He got forced out down here.
Or go to another state.
Or go to another state.
Right.
They'll take him in because he's got the credentials and he's had the certification and he's got everything going on as far as that goes. So, it's just hard. I've always said that, not always, but I'm saying that we need a national database of these type of officers. Officers have resisted that.
Yeah.
So the other thing DL said was that we needed a review board. And it needs to be a citizen review board.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be filled with police officers. Because you're asking a police officer, and then
police
they're going to resist that
too. And a lot of municipalities resist that as well.
Right.
And, in North Carolina, it's a lot of the officers can have some bad behavior or something in their personnel file that if it was known, people wouldn't hire them. But in North Carolina, the public does not have access to that.
Right.
We have one of the worst public records laws for government officials in the country. Like bottom 5. So you'll have, it doesn't just apply to officers. It could be a teacher who might be dismissed for who knows what. They don't reveal any reason why in many cases, and they don't have to legally, can't legally, in fact. And then they pop up in some other school system, and the same thing can happen with police officers. So a lot of times, and that's the valuable role that the media plays, because if you put coverage and attention on this, when this guy tries to go someplace else, at least we know, hey, weren't you the guy who, beat that woman nearly to death?
Right.
I was a little surprised, Marsh, and you could speak to this.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Being the lawyer,
I appreciate that.
I was a little surprised it was just a misdemeanor assault.
Yeah, it's misdemeanor assault to inflict serious injury. So that's a little bit. They're a little bit different. Yeah, they're a little bit different. So they did put the serious injury on it, which is kind of weird association with the name misdemeanor. Then you talk about serious.
Right.
Those two don't usually go together. But I don't know how they're doing things. I don't know that area of the criminal law. So
and it's still under investigation. I believe we may have mentioned this. Of course, in this case, the State Bureau of Investigation takes over. It's not Shelby's investigating themselves. The SBI is still looking at it. The one thing I want to add before we leave the topic is that
other police officers.
That's true, but not police officers directly connected to this case.
Other police officers. I want to make sure people know that's just not a whole other entity.
That's right.
There are other police officers.
Right, and Moore was eventually, Helen Ann has a question. What did he say that happened 3 or 4 years ago? The who? Oh, yeah, the caller. She asked, what did DL say happened 3 or 4 years ago? What department was that where they had those communications and they were saying all kinds of crazy stuff? Was that Winston-Salem?
I don't remember the jurisdiction.
DL, if you're listening, and call us in, because I know we talked about that on MP3, and as he pointed out, that came out through an audit. So that shows the value of those. But Sherry Moore was eventually handcuffed after everything, and she's heard on the video asking the officers to call her father and commenting on her own mental health, saying that she wasn't on her medication. So hopefully there'll be some justice in this case.
No, it's not going to be justice. He may not be found especially if it goes to trial. He might be found not guilty of all of that.
Yeah.
Like the next case we got coming up.
It's a good segue into that.
Yeah.
That's why I did that.
I know you did.
Yeah, it was
into
a
that
very,
segue.
very good segue.
Go right ahead, Myron.
You know, if something's a good segue, I'm not sure you're supposed to say it.
You're not supposed to say it. MP1 always does. He messes up a good segue.
So,
he messes up a good segue.
as MP1 indicated, a South Carolina jury.
Let me before you
go ahead,
start,
Marsh.
because I said that doesn't sound. Those two don't go together. I was trying to look it up because usually when you have a misdemeanor assault, it's not any kind of
Inflicted serious
injury associated. That's typically felony. And it says in North Carolina, the exact offense of misdemeanor assault with intent to inflict serious injury does not exist under state law. It's actually assault inflicting serious injury. So I think that was just a typo.
It could have just been a typo. Yeah,
article,
okay.
yeah.
All right, come on, tighten up, reporter. South Carolina jury on Monday, that was this week, they found the store owner not guilty of murder. It was a 2023 shooting. As we mentioned, it was an African-American 14-year-old boy. The shooter was, I can't pronounce his first name. His last name is Rick. Mr. Rick Chow, 61. He shot this young man, Cyrus Carmack Belton, in the back, as Module mentioned, after chasing him from his convenience store in Columbia. He says he acted to defend his son.
He did not.
That's what he said. After the verdict was read, sobs and cries could be heard coming from the young man's family, the victim's family, seated in the gallery. The shooter sat silently frozen, according to this account, before bowing his head into his interlocked hands. So maybe he's got a little bit of remorse that won't bring that boy back.
What do you mean? He did that when?
Put his head in his hands.
Right.
When
right.
what?
When the verdict was
verdict.
announced.
That's just
that
relief.
could be relief.
That's just relief.
Right,
He ain't
right.
going to prison.
Yeah.
And when you don't go to prison, that makes you sob.
Now, if you're already not angered or upset by this story, defense lawyer
He's
Jack.
a prior shooter too, by the way. Yeah, he's into shot his gun at.
This is a gunfighter.
Yeah, this is
not just some random store owner who this is the first rodeo of someone who he thought was stealing water from his convenience store.
Yeah.
This is a guy who saw at one point he thought someone was stealing, and he went outside the shop, his shop, and fired into a car.
Yeah.
This is that type of guy. This is a guy that's called multiple police because of multiple gunshots that he's fired. This is a guy that's a gunfighter. This is a guy who believes in the gun.
Yeah.
And you're chasing a boy down now.
He chased the kid over 100 yards, over the length of a football field.
And what he said was, he said he feared for his son, his life of him and his son, because he said the boy had a gun on him. Now, the prosecutor who were trying to prosecute him said, yes, the 14-year-old did have a gun, but no one saw the gun inside the facility.
Right.
Inside
They
the
never saw it pointed at him.
Yeah, it was found out outside.
It was found out outside the facility after he had chased him down and shot him in the back, 120 meters, 120 yards away from the store.
This guy likes his guns. And that kind of gets us to this whole, we talked about on MP3, this gun culture. This is a classic case. Let's say the boy did shoplift. It's a product in a convenience store. That doesn't match up to a human life. If he was stealing your car, it doesn't match up to a human life. He's gotten away with this, using the gun in this way.
Right.
And now he really still has license to do the exact same thing.
And
he walks off scot-free.
Also, it sends a message to others, and it will embolden others in these times that we live that this is okay to do.
Well, one thing you said that was wrong, though, Myron. You're looking at this as a human life. A lot of society does not look at it as that black boy as having the same rights and deals as another race of people. And that's the reason why I told y'all before the show, these two stories should rename Black Lives Don't Matter or Black Lives Should Matter.
Right.
Because society continues to show us, that those lives do not matter.
Actually, at some point, we should do kind of like a catalog.
There's too many now.
No. Do a catalog of things that only happen to black people. And this story is an example of things that only happen. Have you ever seen? I've been living a long time now.
Quite a long time.
Yeah. You definitely have.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Helen Ann said she agreed.
Three score. He's been on the planet 3 score. That's a long time.
Anyway, go ahead, Marsh.
I cannot think of a time where I've ever seen. Let's put it as a white female. I've never seen a story where a white female was beaten like that. I've never seen a story where like some little white child, 14 years old, has been run down and shot in the back. I've never heard of anything like that affecting other groups. It's something that's demonstrates, as Nigel was pointing out, that our life from black lives from slavery to now
don't matter.
Still have much less value than other members of society.
And that's the reason why they need to change that slogan to Black Lives Don't Matter. That brings more attention to it. Because when you say Black Lives Matter, society is saying to themselves, no, it doesn't matter. Because, and they're not just saying it to themselves, they're showing. If
there was anger over that slogan.
If you
and
read,
continues to be. Just saying Black Lives Matter just made a lot of people just unreasonably angry.
Right.
What
about blue lives?
Right.
Blue lives
making up all kinds of stuff. Right.
And like Dave Chappelle, that's not a blue light, that's a blue suit.
That's true.
You don't want to do it, take your suit off.
That's a uniform, right?
Uniform.
Blackness ain't a uniform.
But what I would say though is that the slogan should be Black Lives Should Matter.
Yeah.
Because they don't matter. Because American society continues to show that those lives do not matter.
Right. In defense of the slogan, though, they do matter. Whatever society says. Society is wrong on the issue.
They're definitely wrong on it. They're definitely wrong on the issue.
But,
But just think about this for a second.
Yeah.
And Marshall just brought it up. Listen, let's just think of, if we could think in this world, same store owner, there's no way, no how, not even possible that he would have chased a white 14-year-old kid
and
shot him down
in the back.
because he
No
knew
way.
he knew that he would never get out of prison.
There would be consequences.
He would go to jail right then, and he would stay there until time came for him to go to trial, and then he would be found guilty.
Can you imagine a black or Hispanic officer, or even Asian, slamming a white female down on the ground, 90 pounds, and just beating her like
no
that?
officer would.
They know better.
No officer would.
They know the repercussions of something like that.
Officers these days are not unaware of the cameras.
Right.
There's cameras everywhere. Right. Many of them have body cams. The cruisers usually have cameras. And my point of bringing that up,
it makes it difficult
is
to get
that
away with anything.
when he was beating her, I mean, he had to know that the cameras are going to get this.
And still he didn't stop.
And still he didn't stop.
And still, that was the thing that got to me. And still he didn't stop.
Well, with the body cams, a lot of times there are ways around that with the body cam. But that's not what caught him. The caught him was the Ring doorbell.
Forget it.
No, it was the Ring doorbell.
That's right.
It wasn't the body cam.
Forget about the body cameras.
There's
you
cameras
can't
everywhere.
do anything.
Yeah.
I walk outside my house in the morning. I got a camera on my door. My neighbor's got a camera. The one
I
across
hope
the
you
street
have more
got a
than
camera.
a towel when you go out there.
Yeah, well, I try to have. Try to be modest.
The days of going to grab a paper or mail half dressed, that's out.
Because everyone has a camera. And then if you in public, if this happens in public, like a mall or somewhere else, even when bullets start flying, what's the first thing people start doing? They might be backing up, but
Cell
they filming.
Right.
They filming this shit so they can put it on YouTube or whatever. So the days of you think police officer or no, unless you're in some secluded area in the middle of nowhere,
literally a room, that nobody knows where the suspect is.
And gone are the days, Marshall, where you can just where a police officer can say, you know what, I'll just turn my body camera off.
Right.
I'll turn it off and then go ahead and do it because other people are filming.
Somebody's always watching.
Yeah, someone's always watching, and as a police officer, you gotta know that.
Right.
So my daughter, I don't know what she's planning, but she says the cameras make it hard for kids to sneak out these days, which is true. I hope she's not planning on sneaking out. You used to sneak out a lot, didn't you, Marshall?
Well, not a lot. Yeah.
That was before cameras. Slide down stuff.
Do you remember? I love this story. You know what story about to tell. One time he tied together T-shirts.
Some bed sheets.
Bed sheets. Is that what it was?
Tied them to the posts of the bed. We had a little post and slid it down like
Did you know
Spider-Man.
your uncle did that?
Slid it down like Spider-Man.
Real superhero tactics to get out. But
Like,
nowadays you have the camera.
Something that was quite dangerous. A two-story house.
Two-story house, right.
Something that was quite dangerous.
It was a party of the year.
It was a party of the year.
Right, yeah, you made it. Was it a great party?
For 8th graders. Yeah.
Of course you got in trouble when you got back home.
course,
but,
of course,
It must have been worth it.
It was kind of hard to pull the bed sheets back in at that point.
But one thing that this shows, these two incidents, both of them, and they're unfortunately not uncommon, is that there are consequences to the verbal dehumanization of black people.
Yes.
When they and unfortunately we live in an era where it stems right from the White House.
Yes.
The president amplifies it. He reposted an image of the Obamas as monkeys. Distinguished president, distinguished first lady, and he goes to the most dehumanizing stereotype that you could really throw a black person's way. And that sends the message, they're not like us.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They're not human in the way we are.
And if you
these are the deadly consequences.
Right. If you go to that story, as MP2 was talking about, Module, in that, look at the comments that were about that story. Very unsympathetic about the 14-year-old black kid. Very unsympathetic. Why
you would not know that was a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
If you just read the comments and don't read the story.
Right.
You think that's some master criminal, John Gotti or somebody.
Yeah.
That's the murder, 10 or 15 folks.
Right.
Rather than stealing 4 bottles of water.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He's supposed to have been trying to steal or stole.
Yeah, it's not even clear if he did that.
Correct.
Right.
But even if he did, and that's what really one of the main things that kind of undercuts the narrative that the defense successfully made the jury believe. If he was really fearing for the safety of his son or even himself, why is he chasing the guy?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The threat is literally running away from the site. And you
far
are
away.
chasing him.
Yeah,
Right. More than 100 yards, as y'all pointed out. So that's a football field.
And I always tell kids, and whether mentoring or whether just talking to kids, a gun always complicates. You give people an excuse that they do not need.
Right.
Because for all I know, he might have shot this guy in the back 100 yards down the road, gun or no gun.
Yeah.
But it always gives them that excuse
Right.
that
There's
they
a gun around.
If
Right.
they're doing that, it complicates everything when it comes to that. No one saw the gun. The gun was found on him.
Yeah.
No one saw the gun inside the store. The store was probably quite busy. Apparently, the police said they'd been called to this store not hundreds of times, but a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They've been called to this
familiar with that store.
for different reasons. And my thing is listen, if you're really afraid, if I'm inside my house and someone comes inside the house and then they run out of the house, I'm not running down the street
locking the
chasing
door
them.
behind
I'm locking
them.
the door behind them.
Right.
I'm not going to run after them and chase them down.
And that makes me wonder if he really even thought the kid had a gun.
Bingo.
Right.
Because you're chasing behind a man who got a gun too.
Right.
Right.
Or a
Right.
person,
That
in this
doesn't make
case, a
sense.
kid, a child
Right.
who has a gun too. So that story didn't make sense at all. And it was found not guilty.
I don't
In
know
South
that we've
Carolina,
seen the
black lives don't matter.
composition of the jury in this story. I'm not sure whether it's been talked about. When I say that, I haven't seen that in the reporting. But as we know, that often makes a difference.
Oh,
and that has
definitely.
a long history going back to when, they were lynching and executing black
Right,
people
right.
when they throw it before an all-white jury, if it even made to trial.
Right. If
And
they
of
didn't
course,
get
the
lynched
all-white
first.
jury just
Yeah.
let the killers go.
Right.
So the composition of the jury does make a big difference, and it's not clear what it was in this case. But I'm disappointed that they bought the defense team's argument. And again, this leaves on the street this killer.
It just shows.
I mean,
how,
the guy's a killer. Whether he didn't commit legal murder under the law, but he's a killer. He could just open up his shop and like nothing happened.
It just shows how fleeting change. You think change is on the cusp of happening after George Floyd. There was so many laws being passed and whatever about it made it seem like, well, finally people realizing that blacks are people too, and our laws need to be
Made
done.
it seem like that to who?
I kind of felt there was a
I
change.
felt we were moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I felt we were moving in the right direction.
Not I. I know y'all think I'm a negative Nancy, but not I. I knew it was just a matter of time before they got back to killing folks and doing things. And, George Floyd is gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Black Lives Matter movement has died down.
Yeah.
Right. And
Trump's in office.
Right.
I didn't put this story in the package, but there's an effort to get Derek Chauvin out of prison. The man who killed George Floyd.
Clemency or whatever they call it. Pardon.
Nothing like that ever surprises me anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
And I don't think any of us would put it past Trump to do it. He just may be biding his time.
Right. All right. Well, we have to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I am Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
I'm Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.
Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.